What is going on, everyone? Happy Symbiote Spider-Man Day. That's what I'm calling today because Symbiote Spider-Man is finally in the Milestone Orbs. Now, there was a bit of a debacle earlier on in the day, and I'm really glad that I actually didn't pull my Milestone Orbs right away. And in case you guys were unaware of what actually happened, let's jump on over to Reddit really quick, where they did post a response about the issue. And so here we are with the issue here. Basically at the store reset time, so the Symbiote Spider-Man shards and the Coulson shards were reversed in terms of the drop rate. So Symbiote Spider-Man was at 30% and Agent Coulson was at 70%, but it was actually intended to be the other way around. So a lot of people were really frustrated. A lot of people opened a ton of orbs that they've been hoarding for God knows how long, and they've been getting far less shards than they did before. So because that was unintentional, I think it took about an hour, maybe 45 minutes to an hour to fix, and so now it's finally been fixed, and Symbiote Spider-Man is at the 70% drop rate instead of Agent Coulson. So that has been that was adjusted, but because of that, of course, it's been a lot of problems, and they'll be sending out compensation, whatever that really means, later on in the week. So I'm hoping, I mean, it's probably going to be a flat shard compensation for most people. I am hoping, though, for the people who did pull like 300, 400 plus orbs, that they do get maybe a personal compensation for that, because the drop rates are quite significantly different, between previously what would have been the Agent Coulson and the Captain Marvel drop rates. If you've ever pulled them, getting Captain Marvel was pretty rare in the Milestone Earth previously, so that would have been what Symbiote Spider-Man was for that first hour. So yeah, a lot of people who pulled huge amounts of orbs are going to get shafted on this, and I hope that they do maybe get a little bit of extra compensation than those of us who, well, didn't pull anything, because we'll see if everyone gets the same compensation or what, because I didn't actually pull any of my orbs yet. That's what today's video is about. So hopefully we get a little bit luckier here, so we'll have to find out. And let's go back to the game now. And so here we are with the Milestone Orbs here. I'm not going to be doing any like seed theory shenanigans or anything like that. We're just going to pull them all and hope for the best. But I did want to make note of the percentages here. So I did all the calculations on the 5% and the 1%. So this is where you get them. And just a little notepad here I'm going to bring on the screen here. So basically it's 3.5% chance for Symbiote Spider-Man in the 5%, which is the 5 shards. 0.7% chance for, I believe that's the 10 shards for that, and then with a total of basically 4.2% chance of any Symbiote Spider-Man shards at all. So we're gonna put that against what we do get today and see if we're either below average or above average or right on point for how many orbs we have. So we do have 286 Milestone Orbs to open. We're gonna do some rapid fire opening here because there was a lot of them. If I do see a pink or a gold in the center, I will sort of pause to go through it. Otherwise, we're just gonna keep pulling in the center. And, at the very least, there's going to be a lot of gold orb fragments at the end of the day, probably through this. So, I don't know how many it's going to take for us to actually see a drop for him. It's not going to make a huge difference, probably for me, because I'm already at 6 stars. So, there's going to take a lot of pulls, successful pulls, in order to actually see anything. So, yeah, at the end of the day, it's going to be there's a lot of pink there. There's going to be some purple gear for me, some orange gear for me, gold orb fragments and things like that. But this isn't going to be enough, most likely, to get me to 7 star for Symbiote Spider-Man. And, while we're pulling, actually, Symbiote Spider-Man's only actually going to be in the orbs until the winter, I guess, or around Christmas time, because it sounds like they're going to be doing, or that's what they said they were doing, a seasonal Milestone Orb. So I don't know what that's going to mean, if they're going to be taking out both Coulson and Symbiote Spider-Man and then putting them elsewhere. Who really knows at this point? But yeah, it could be potentially kind of crazy. So I'm a bit, I don't want them to make an orb that is kind of like the Greek raid orbs are now, where it's just sort of a collection of, I don't know, winter-themed characters, if there are any. Groot is the first thing that comes off the top of my head. I don't want it to be an orb that's just basically a rehash of the existing Greek raids, where they're just, I don't know, 20 different characters that are going to be in it, because I don't want that, So I enjoy the Milestone Orbs because they do have a little bit of something for everyone, but of course, being a late game player, and I shouldn't really complain, maybe they should have even a small chance of dropping some of the more premium characters. The premium orb isn't premium anymore, as we both know. as we all know. I don't know why I said both. As we all know, you know, the chances of getting an individual character, especially a newer character in the premium orbs, are basically slim to none. I think it's less than, I think it's like 0.6 to 0.7% chance, you know, to get any individual singular character in a premium orb. So I think they need to do some revamps of the orbs, but I don't exactly know what they plan on doing, if anything. And I think I don't know, we're almost at 50 orbs and I haven't seen a single one, so this luck is not very good. I have been getting some fragments here on the side, but nothing super stellar here so far. So, you know, what are we at? I think I was at 286, so that actually is probably the 50 orb mark, and not even a Coulson or a Symbiote Spider-Man. I think we're well below average there. I'm gonna have a lot of orbs for the a lot of dupe shards for the Ultimus Orb, but yeah, this isn't looking super hot so far. I'll take all the extra gold gear and the purple gear and whatever else I'm getting on the side, but I would have liked to see a little bit of stuff so far, but it's been pretty jank, I think. Some gold orb fragments there, nothing super exciting though. And we're already, yeah, 60 something orbs now, nothing yet. This is really shocking and well below average. So I guess maybe I need that compensation. Let's hope everyone gets some Symbiote Spider-Man shards because of it, and hopefully for everyone else, you know, who maybe don't have them unlocked, or on their way to getting them unlocked, you know, that might be enough to push you guys over the top to getting them. Because Symbiote Spider-Man, considering we're in a symbiote patch cycle, that if you don't have Symbiote Spider-Man unlocked, you know, it's gonna hurt you a lot, you know, because it's almost not worth it upgrading characters like Scream and Anti-Venom if you don't have Symbiote Spider-Man, because he's the glue that basically, you know, makes the team, you know. So I'm hoping that they're a bit more oh, there's some Elite 4 credits. So unfortunately I had to open, what, 80 orbs just to get that gold pull on the side there. Oh no, I forgot that the blue drop in the center actually, I don't think is, oh, actually there was Symbiote. Is that the first drop? Or did I skip some? I think that was the first drop for him. Or is he way at the bottom? Five Symbiote. It's been 80 orbs. And I got him once. Okay, so are we sure that the drop rate's 5%? I think, or 4.2? I think we're well below average at this point. So I should have pulled them at least 4 times in 100 shards, right? So that's basically, or 100 pulls. That's basically what it means. So I should have had at least 20 shards by the time we get to 186, which doesn't seem to be the case. But, you know, I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt here. You know, maybe our luck will pick up. We are getting some nice gold orb fragment pulls on the... Oh, there's another one, Symbiote Spider-Man. Nice gold orb fragments. I'm gonna have lots of gold for some reason to do nothing with. I'm just kind of waiting for Anti-Venom to come around. I know that She-Hulk is in the red store orbs right now, but I will be skipping her. So, unfortunately for anyone who might be holding out for me getting some She-Hulk action, that's probably not happening. She's 100 shard unlock. If she was 45, maybe I would have considered, you know, using some of my core stash, which I was hoping to use actually for Scream, but I never ended up doing that. But I'm not pulling for, oh, there we go. Oh, 10 Symbiote Spider-Man. Okay, so, yeah, I'm not pulling cores for She-Hulk. Definitely not. And I think actually we're at the 100 orb mark, and I think we might actually be just on point after that 10 pull. So we are at 20 shards for Symbiote Spider-Man. And we got another, oh, okay, another gold pull on the side. So it would be 20 shards roughly per 100 orbs is what you'd be looking at. For Symbiote Spider-Man, not for Coulson. Although Coulson technically would be lower because Coulson now replaced Captain Marvel. But I don't actually have him at 7-star yet either, but I'm pretty close, I think. So we'll see what happens at the end of this. We're almost halfway through. These have been orbs I've been holding out for quite some time. I open them occasionally, you know, to test seed theory and all of that, but, you know, I'm still not a firm believer in the process. But, you know, like I said, I'm glad I'm opening these and getting some orb fragments, the gold orb fragments especially. I don't really care too much about these shitty training orbs. There's some more Symbiote Spider-Man. The awful ability orbs are terrible. The training ones are actually not awful, but the ability orbs are freaking awful. So they really should change that sometime soon rather than later. Lots of shards here. If I was a newer player, you know, these shards would be really good. There's some more Coulson. But absolutely nothing in the Milestone Orb anymore is useful to me. Every single character in there is a dupe, and I kind of wish they would have revamped it. People were asking it to be revamped some time ago. At least some of the older, newer characters to be put in. But I think the sort of the best characters that you can pull out of the Milestone Orb, aside from Symbiote Spider-Man now, there's another gold pull on the side, probably would have been characters like the Symbiotes. Carnage is in there, Pyro's in there, some characters that are also in the War Store who you typically wouldn't spend on to get, but still is worth, you know, at least getting out of here. Oh, my hand's getting a bit tired from clicking. We're officially halfway, almost halfway through. Let's pick it up a bit. Yeah, now we're officially halfway through, and I think we're at 25. So when we get back around to, oh, there's some more Symbiote Spider-Man. So when we get to 86 orbs, if we don't have 40 shards for him, then, oh, there's some more 5, then we're below average. Maybe we're picking, our luck's picking up. We've got a couple of Elite 4 drops there. It's not very big. 200 is really not a lot, but hey, you know, I'll take what I can get. Another gold pull. Should I pull some red stars for She-Hulk? No, probably not. I have like 84 red star orbs right now. I might just like pull 10 or 15 for She-Hulk with the hopes that maybe a PvP milestone might come back around for some extra red stars, but I am not gonna be I'm not investing in here. I'll probably bliss to unlock her, of course, but beyond that, I might do the 45 shards twice or something. For her blitz, and that's probably about it. You know, I might make a video about it. I don't know yet. Just talking about her, and I don't understand. She came at a really bad time. You know, she's a bio character in a patch of other better bio characters, so why would we want to invest in her? War defense character, kind of garbo. Yeah, War offense maybe, because at least you get to play with them. But I just feel that war defense is a bit boring, you know, even with the Marauders and things like that who are really good, you know, at least characters like Emma Frost have more playability outside of war, so you're getting and same with Sinister, and you're getting to use them outside of it. Characters like, for the most part, Agent Coulson, you know, he doesn't have a whole lot of use outside of war, and I have a feeling that She-Hulk is going to be like that as well. I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't give her the Hero Brawler tag, things like that. Might have been able to, you know, slot her in somewhere else in a different fashion. But they decided to go with this way, so not much we can do with that. What are we at? 105. We're 20 orbs away from the 200 mark, and then I'll have to go check again to see how many orbs we've pulled, and if we're at 40 or above, then we're doing okay. Otherwise, we're below. I think we're maybe at 30 or 35 now, I don't know, so we might be on average, actually. I just can't imagine those people who pulled, you know, 400 plus orbs at the bad rate, at the 30% rate, and, you know, that would have been something a lot worse, something like less than 2% chance per orb. Like, the rates of pulls would have been at least half of what it is now, or less than half, actually, for that matter. So I think we're at 86 now, so let's double check. Let's see how many shards we pulled for him so far. How many gold orbs have we? Almost 5 gold orbs and 5 premium orbs. Let's scroll to the bottom where he probably is. 35 Symbiote Spider-Man, so we're slightly under. If we had that one extra pull, and then we got 10 Coulson as well. So Coulson, we're almost a 7-star. We're getting there. So if we can get another quick Symbiote Spider-Man, that would put us pretty close. We have another 86. Oh, there we go. So we're basically where we should be. And we have another 80-something orbs, so really we should get at least 15 Symbiote Spider-Man shards to be exactly where the percentage should be. So it looks like it's on point, but obviously, you know, the fact that I would even have to pull, you know, this many orbs to get 50 shards, he's an unlock at 100, so basically what we're saying is that free-to-play players who don't have any shards for him, who missed, unfortunately, all 3 of the milestones, you know, you'd expect to have to pull about, like, close to 600 milestone orbs in order to get him, which is pretty crappy if you ask me. You know, it's not very player friendly in that way, and I know he makes Scopely a lot of money because he is an insane character, but at the same time, you know, not a lot of people are going to buy character offers for Anti-Venom and Scream if they don't have him if they don't have a way to get Symbiote Spider-Man. So I think if they would have made him more readily available outside of this for newer players, then I think they would have made even more money off of Scream and Anti-Venom. But that's just what I think. And he just makes so much of an impact, and there's 5 more. He makes such an impact on this game that I think that it would have done the players a service to do that, and it just really would have helped, I think, in the long term. So, you know, I don't know what this game is going to turn to because he's so good, you know, and the team is so good. You know, what does that mean for the future of sort of Marvel Strike Force and the raid scene, at least, and the raid and Dark Dimension scene? So I'm going to be making a separate video of that probably in a few days, just talking about sort of what to expect post Symbiotes. I think that's an important question to ask there. And, you know, because this is going to be the #1 team for how long, we don't know. You know, Black Order was fully available in May, you know, after Ebony Maw came out in May, and I guess Proxima, the rest of the Black Order started coming out around March. But, you know, having that full arena Black Order by May, and we're sitting 5 months later in October, you know, and they're still going strong. I don't see them being replaced anytime soon until maybe the new year. So I guess that means that symbiote dominance is probably going to be there for at least another 5 months, at least from now, you know, in the raid scene. So we'll have to see if they do anything else. That, you know, why would you want to build any other team other than symbiotes unless they're going to build a new raid or a new Greek raid or something like that to diversify raids or have another reason to use characters outside of the symbiotes. I currently don't see, you know, well, we'll have to see how Anti-Venom plays out, but I don't see any reason currently why you'd want to build a team that's not the symbiotes at this point, as long as you have Symbiote Spider-Man unlocked and you have access and you have unlocked the newer ones. You know, that's, I think, going to be the future. You know, you can still use characters like Thanos, Black Bolt, Ebony Maw, stuff like that. But, you know, if you can do everything the same with the symbiotes, why would you bother with some of this other stuff? So I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to talk about, interesting to see, especially when Anti-Venom goes live with his offers, probably in about no later than 2 weeks from now. You know, given that we have the offer for She-Hulk now, I expect anywhere from a week and a half to 2 weeks before Anti-Venom's available for everyone. So we'll have to see. It looks like we're closing in on the end of our orb pulls here. Just a few left to go, and then we'll check our total for Symbiote Spider-Man and see if we're below, on point, or above average. I don't think we're above average. We might actually be below. Oh, as I said that, the last 3 pulls that... Oh, I thought it would have been him again. Okay, so that last 10 might have... Let's see here. So at the end of the day, let's see. So we got 8 training orbs and ability orbs. 45 ABCs, that's not bad. 7 premium orbs, 6 gold orbs. A little bit less than I thought, actually, that we get. The rest is just dupe shards. Some purple gear, orange gear here and there, and let's see, 1,400 Elite 4 credits, and 10 Coulson, and where was, oh, did I skip him? Where's Symbiote Spider-Man? Oh, so 60 Symbiote Spider-Man, so that actually puts us slightly above average, because if I opened 300 orbs, I would have expected to get him about 22 shards or so, and since you can't split things like that, anywhere from 20 to 25 shards, so per 100. So we're actually doing a little bit better. So we pulled just a little, we made maybe like 5 extra from that last lucky pull there at the end. So that looks pretty good and on point to the percentages that I'm from the notepad earlier. So yeah, looks like we did okay. Unfortunately, actually going back to see how many, I'm in 6, I forget where in 6-star I'm at. Okay, yeah, we're nowhere close to 7-star, so unfortunately that's not happening anytime soon, but it was interesting to see how many shards we could get out of this, and it was a bit of a long orb pull, but thanks everyone for watching, and of course, stay safe, and I'll see y'all next time. Boylon signing out.